close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own.
Through the door, through where no one's been before, and it feels like home. They can say all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care, 'cause I'm only crazy. We can live in a world that we design. Every night I lie in bed, brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake.
Million dreams that the world's gonna make.
There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things so far away. Special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say our sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds. I don't care if they call us crazy. On the way to a world that we design. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. However big, however small, let me be part of it all. Share your dreams with me. Make it right, make it wrong. Say that you'll bring me along to where you see, to a world I close my eyes to see. I close my eyes to see. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. A million dreams, a million dreams. Think of what the world could be. A vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
Thank you. I love that song. Good morning. My name is Mary Nordhagen, she, her, and I serve on your Board of Trustees. I have the honor of welcoming you here today. Welcome to Unitarian Universalist Church West on this nice, bright, sunny Mother's Day morning. In this place, we occupy the traditional territory of the native peoples of the Seven Council Fires: Ho-Chunk, Kickapoo, Potawatomi, Menominee, Peoria, and Miami nations. Wisconsin remains home to tribal peoples from several sovereign nations who were and are stewards of this land. We commit to learning from their teaching. We also commit to acknowledge and confront racism, which continues to lead to the violent deaths of Black, Indigenous, and other people of color. We know that racism, white colonialism, anti-Semitism, and all forms of bigotry and hatred perpetuate inequalities, injustices, poverty, and exclusion in U.S. society, even, especially, as the Supreme Court declares otherwise. We know the path is long to becoming an anti-racist faith community dedicated to equity, racial justice, and tearing down all walls of exclusion. But together, we will not stop until we get there. We welcome all who are here physically, as well as those who are attending remotely. All who strive to live lives with love at the center, whatever the color of their skin, whatever their personal theology or lack thereof, whatever their gender identity, whoever they love, you are welcome here. Beloved community is for all of us or none of us. Now, a few things to just help you settle in and feel at home and get to know the place. If you're a newcomer and you'd like to connect further, send an email to visitor@uucw.org. If you're here in person, you are welcome to talk to me after the service. You can also use the welcome side of the blue insert that you received when you entered the sanctuary. You can put that form in the offering baskets later, and you can also use the share side of that form if you have a joy or a concern that you would rather not say aloud. The kids will be going down after this is a special day. We're having a new member ceremony, and the kids will go down to Ari. Following that, the nursery is open but unstaffed if anybody needs to go down there, and you can always go and watch from the community room right outside here. And as you can see, there's already several people at the activity table over here. If that's something that keeping your hands busy helps you listen, you're welcome to join them. I'd like to think that the land acknowledgement and the introduction we start with each week are more than just words. You'll find many opportunities in this week's announcements to put your values into action. There's also several ways in there to make connections. I encourage you to look through them all, and I am going to point out just a couple, if I can get the right piece of paper. Today, let's see. There's a couple of things that I'll talk about later that are going on in the community room right after the service. But there's a couple of things that I really want to point out too that are going on another day. Number 7, help build UUCW's visible, vocal, and active allyship with trans people in our communities. It's May 15th, I think that's Friday at 3 p.m. It's here at the church, probably in the community room. Also, the next day on May 16th, we're sponsoring with Sophia, we're sponsoring ICE verifier training here on Saturday from 10 to noon. They would really like you to, Voces de la Frontera will be providing the training, and they'd really like you to go ahead and register if you can, but we'd like to fill this place up for that training. Finally, Milwaukee Pride Fest, number 12. There's going to be the blessing booth, and as well as the blessing booth, UUCW is also sponsoring a table with UC North. We will also be having sign-ups for that. If you're interested in that, that's separate from the blessings booth. That will be kind of competing for volunteers, but we'll have enough. So if you're interested in helping with that, come see me. I will have a little old school sign-up sheet, and then I'm sure we'll be getting it out later over the e-news for ways to sign up for that. I think that's as far as announcements. I think that's it. So I just want to make sure to invite everybody to join us for coffee and tea after the service. I'll be there, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. If I don't have the answer, I can direct you to somebody, or I can find it out myself. And I really, as I was saying earlier, there's lots of stuff going on in the community room after the service today. I invite everybody to go in there and check it out. There's the Earth Ministries donation rotation, and then there's an anti-racist transformational committee table, say that fast. You can share your thoughts about the campus master plan, and also there's an opportunity for you to share gratitude for a volunteer. So if you prefer for a quieter space after the service than everybody milling around in the community room, you're welcome to stay here in the sanctuary and enjoy some conversation. So now let us settle into this space, prepare ourselves to experience this once-a-week opportunity to explore and create meaning in the company of others. May this morning's service guide us on the path of truth and love. Strong relationships of love and support are needed in these perilous, heartbreaking times. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Reverend Jill Braithwaite. I use she, her pronouns, and I serve this congregation as your minister. It's good to be with you all this morning. I invite you now to take a moment to bring yourself into presence here, however is comfortable for you. You might take a couple deep, slow breaths, arrive here, feel the connectedness of all that is. Feel the ancestors who came before us. And as we move into our time of worship, I offer these words. Welcome to this place of possibility. This is love's hearth, the home of hope, a refuge for minds in search of truth, unfolding, ever beautiful, ever strange. Here, compassion is our shelter, freedom our protection from the storms of bigotry and hate. In this abode, may we find comfort and courage. Here, may our sight become vision to see the unseen, to glimpse the good that is yet to be. Come, let us worship. And now I invite Mary to light our chalice as we speak together our chalice lighting words, which are in your order of service. We light this flame for what is not yet known, for the questions that stretch us, the hopes that whisper, and the courage that flickers on uncertain days. We kindle this flame for beginnings that are only just becoming. Now please rise in body and or spirit, and we'll sing together hymn number 1054, Let This Be a House of Peace.
Let this
Today, it is our delight to welcome and celebrate people who have made the decision to become members of this congregation. Larry Hawley, chair of our membership team, and I will lead us in this new member welcome ceremony.
The decision to join this congregation is an important one, for it indicates our desire to make a change in how we lead our lives. It means we are becoming members of a community that dreams together, works together, laughs together, and grows together. In community, we care for one another, sharing our joys and our sorrows. At the heart of this community are the relationships we create with one another as we dedicate ourselves to building beloved community. Therefore, it is with great joy that we recognize our relationships with these newest members of UUCW. Will you please come forward as I call your names? Joseph Nazinski. Allison Katula. Carolyn Cowton.
Others are welcome to accompany you. Very much welcome. And as Carolyn makes her way up here, I also want to mention that we honor today two other recently joined new members, Karen Beers and Carol Palmert, who are not with us today. Oh, Carol. Got it, and in the choir. Apologies. Glad you're here. When you join this congregation, as these folks are doing today, you become part of a liberal religious community that believes in welcoming differences with love. You become part of a community that strives to align our lives with the values of religious freedom and justice. By bringing your gifts and your presence here, you help keep this community and this faith tradition of ours fresh and alive. When you join this congregation, you gain the right to vote on critical decisions, a voice in shaping the future, and the authority and opportunity to be a leader among us.
I'm watching all of you. Know this. We encourage all of our members to participate regularly in our congregational life, to grow their spirits and deepen their understanding of our Unitarian Universalist tradition, to support UUCW with their gifts and skills and financial resources, and to allow the church to support them as they move through their life's journey.
Just as we hope that this community will enrich your lives, we know that the gifts that you bring will enrich all of us here. We are so glad that you are here with us. Now, we invite each of our new members to sign our membership book one at a time as a symbol of their commitment to this congregation. And now, will all UUCW members present here today please rise in body and/or spirit and join in sharing words of covenant with these new members. First, I invite our newest members to speak the words printed in your order of service. we enter this faith, pledging to participate in and support Congregation, will you respond with the words printed in your order of service? We welcome you as once we were welcomed ourselves. We seek to be open and inclusive, respecting your inherent worth and dignity, your ideas and your vision in times both easy and difficult. We welcome you as an equal member of this congregation, of this faith, and of our shared ministry. Now please join me in a round of applause for our newest members. Congratulations. After the service, I encourage you all to greet and introduce yourself to our newest members. We're so glad they're here. And now I invite us all to sing the children off to RE classes with our recessional song.
Desi is going to lead us out with the lantern. And those joining us can come forward, please, and follow Desi out. We'll assemble outside the doors. As you go, may joy surround you. As you go, go in peace. Know our love is with you always. As you go, as you go. May joy surround you. As you go, go in peace. Know our love is with you always. As you go, as you go.
We enter now a time for sharing of joys and sorrows that touch our individual lives. This is one way we express through ritual the many ways that we care for one another in this community. In a moment, you'll be invited to come to the mic to share aloud, or raise your hand and an usher will bring you a mic. I will light a candle for you, and after each sharing, I invite you all to respond with me. We hold you in love. If you have something you'd rather not share aloud, you can use the QR code on the order of service. What you share here will not be in the posted video of the service or shared in our e-news. This morning, I'd like to first light a candle on this Mother's Day holiday. For those who are carrying complexity or pain related to it. For those who are carrying grief or disappointment. For those who are carrying joy and delight. And for all those who do or have done the labors of love that we call mothering. In honor of it all, we hold you in love. Now please come forward if you'd like to share. Let us take a moment to share, to hold all that has been shared in our hearts in silence. To folks attending online, know that we hold you in love as well. And now, will you join me in a spirit of prayer or meditation?
For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are.
a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. Listen carefully. Can you still hear the song, the one sung for you when you were born? The song sung by a cosmos in motion, rejoicing at your life. You, the result, you, the outcome. Listen carefully. Can you hear it still? A song of possibility, a reminder that we still have time to be who and what we need to be. Listen carefully. The vast expanse echoes a recognition that it's not always easy. Possibilities can be hard to pursue. Roads not taken, wrong turns, destinations that disappoint. Through this, the song persists, here in community, bringing alive that most primordial and original impulse, the desire to sing to the universe who we are, to celebrate and share our lives with others. Blessed be and amen. Now please remain seated and we'll sing together hymn number 1051, We Are.
There are some repeats in this music. Let's not, we'll sing straight through without any of the repeats.
Living in a Laboring World by Reverend Cameron Trimble. This is what is happening now. We are in gestation. We are learning forms of belonging that do not depend on dominance. We are practicing care before permission. We are discovering courage that is collective rather than heroic. None of this feels stable yet because birth never does. The temptation in times like this is either nostalgia or control, to rebuild the past or force the future. Both interrupt the slow intelligence of emergence. Seats do not open faster because we shout at them. Communities do not mature because we panic. The mystics consistently warned about this. Meister Eckhart taught that God is found in the ground of the soul, where life continually arrives, not in the grasping mind trying to secure outcomes. Julian of Norwich saw creation as a hazelnut held in divine love, small, fragile, and still sustained. None of them imagined salvation as escape from history. They recognized it as participation in a reality being made new from the inside. So perhaps the question is not, what will the new world be? Perhaps the truer question is, what kind of people does a birthing world require?
There is a feeling that many of us are carrying these days, sometimes quietly, sometimes with a sharp edge, that things are unraveling. The effects of climate change are unfolding. Faith and trust in institutions is at an all-time low. Loneliness and isolation are on the rise. The threads of community life in general have been fraying. The systems we were taught to trust are less stable, less humane. There is a loss of the sense that progress and liberation are inevitable. And this leaves us, many of us, with deep grief, exhaustion, and sometimes numbness, yes? And we must also be very clear that many, perhaps most Americans, have never experienced this kind of optimism and deep trust in our institutions. Black and Indigenous Americans and other people of color, disabled people, queer and trans people, and so many others have long understood that white supremacy, heteropatriarchy, and ableism have ensured the unequal distribution of power, unequal access to those. And of course, we are also seeing the hard-won progress of recent decades actively being rolled back. Okay, I'll stop. But this is where we are as a nation, right? It can indeed feel at times like everything is on fire. And when it feels like the world is burning, it can seem like we have two choices. One is denial, to look away, to numb ourselves, to withdraw, to pretend things are not as serious as they are. And the other is despair, to believe that nothing we do matters, that the fire will consume everything regardless of what we do. But what if there's another way to live in a burning world? Not by denying the flames and not by surrendering to them, but by learning to tend the sparks. What might it mean to tend the sparks of possibility that are emerging, rather than try to save the whole fire? In his poem, Our Real Work, Wendell Berry writes about times of uncertainty about what comes next. Here's the whole poem. It may be that when we no longer know what to do, we have come to our real work, and that when we no longer know which way to go, we have come to our real journey. The mind that is not baffled is not employed. The impeded stream is the one that sings. I love the surprise in this poem. We might think that we are only at our best when we have a plan and certainty about how it's going to unfold. But again, that is not where we are in this country right now. Engagement brings out the best of us sometimes. And Wendell Berry suggests that these times have something essential and precious to offer us. He suggests that the loss of certainty is not the end. This suggests that the loss of certainty is not the end of meaningful righteous action, but instead could be the beginning of it. Because when the old frameworks no longer hold, we are invited to deeper questions about what Berry calls our real work. And that real work may not look like saving the world exactly as it is right now. Now, let me be clear that I am not suggesting that we do not work to reduce harm and protect the vulnerable. We must vote, resist, organize, and advocate. And many activists, organizers, and social scientists in our time are questioning whether the systems we've been taught to trust are worth saving. Even if this sounds ridiculous to you, I invite you to consider this perspective. Vanessa Machado de Oliveira is the author of the book Hospicing Modernity. In it, she offers a challenging but clarifying perspective. She first analyzes the conditions of what we call modernity. Emerging out of the late 1700s and the 1800s, it was driven by belief in reason, science, individualism, and human perfectibility. Modernity also brought us indoor plumbing, for which I am grateful. Modernity, on the whole, in this deep cultural level, claimed that objectivity was possible with pure human reason. And it was jump-started by rapid development of industrialized capitalism and later consumer capitalism, right? Modernity has brought great progress and profound harm. Enshrining individualism was a way to push back against total domination of church and state, important at the time, and it has also led to the obscene inequalities of wealth that we are living with today. These ideas of objectivity and reason have led to life-saving scientific knowledge and also nuclear weapons. And we know that so-called objectivity has always been embedded in systems like racism and patriarchy that privilege one perspective over many perspectives, right? With all this in mind, Machado de Oliveira argues that modernity has run its course. She calls for a different approach to the fires around us, not one of frantic fixing, but one of hospicing. Hospicing, I'm sure many of you have experienced hospice with loved ones, is what we do when something is ending. It is a practice of care, of presence, of honesty and dignity. It means we do not look away from suffering. Instead, we take responsibility for our part in the present moment. We accompany what is dying with as much dignity and compassion as we can. This is not an easy shift. It asks us to let go of the modernist fantasy that we can control everything. It asks us to face our own complicity in systems that do harm. And within that shift, something surprising happens. When we stop trying to save everything, we can begin to ask different questions. How do we show up well, here and now, in the midst of what is unfolding? And how do we tend the sparks that we can save? There's a story, perhaps you've heard it, about the great violinist Itzhak Perlman. In the middle of a performance once, one of the strings on his violin snapped. The audience held its breath, Normally, a musician would stop, replace the string, begin again. But Perlman didn't stop. He paused, he gathered himself, and then continued, playing the entire piece on just 3 strings. And those who were there said the music was not at all diminished. If anything, it was more powerful, more tender and alive. At the end of the performance, the story goes, Perlman said to the audience, "Our job is to make music with what remains." Our job is to make music with what remains. This story speaks to us in this moment, I think, because many of us feel that so much has been lost or destroyed. Just as for Itzhak Perlman, the conditions are no longer what they were. And the questions remain, how do we show up to this reality? What can we save now? Reverend Cameron Trimble, reflecting on other historical periods of collapse, offers the story of Saint Benedict. In the 6th century, as the Roman Empire was disintegrating, Benedict did not try to save the empire. He did not have the power to do so, but he also did not withdraw from the world. Instead, he gathered people into communities shaped by shared values: stability, prayer, learning, small-scale economies, and feeding people who are poor. These communities did not stop the collapse of the empire, but they preserved essential practices and values within them. And that is the invitation that Trimble lifts up. She writes, "We are living through a time when many are tempted to withdraw, to numb themselves, to believe that nothing they do will matter. But the Benedictine wisdom insists otherwise. It teaches that how we live in the midst of breakdown shapes what becomes possible afterward. When we choose to stay human, when we keep telling the truth, caring for one another, protecting the vulnerable, we become carriers of a different future, even if we never see its fullness." These may sound like small things, but they are not small at all. They are the seeds of what comes next. Margaret Wheatley brings another perspective into this landscape. She suggests that in times like these, the scale at which we imagine change may need to shift. She writes about the great need to create islands of sanity. She says, "We cannot stop the larger insanity, the terrible destruction of war, aggression, and greed, so we have to prepare where we can to create these islands of sanity, healthy communities working well together." This approach brings the work back into our hands, into our relationships with those around us, into our congregations. And if we look around, we can see so many sparks worth tending in these spaces. It's in the ministry teams here and how they prioritize process and relationship over tasks and outcome. It's in how we support neighbors in our communities, such as food pantries and the guest house. Across the country, mutual aid networks are booming. These are neighbors organizing to share resources and care for one another without waiting for institutions to do it for them. These are not solutions that fix everything, right? But they are beautiful, glowing sparks, evidence that another way of being human in society is already emerging. Not someday, not after the next election or the one after that. New islands of sanity are emerging right here and around us in the midst of the fires. Whether in this faith community or elsewhere, tending those sparks asks things of us. It calls us to attention in a world that pulls us toward distraction. It calls us into relationship in a culture that isolates. It calls us to courage, not the individual hero kind, but the collective kind. Tending the sparks is the willingness to plant seeds that we may never see bloom. So the question becomes, which sparks will we tend? We might ask ourselves these questions. Who are the people we are called to be in relationship with? Where are we already part of an island of sanity, or where might we help create one? What small, faithful acts of justice are ours to carry, not in theory, but in practice? We might not be able to stop the fires that are burning, but we can tend the sparks of possibility with compassion, love, and creativity. We can choose to be the people who make beautiful music with what remains. As Rebecca Solnit has said, the fact that we cannot save everything does not mean that we cannot save anything, and everything we can save is worth saving. Amen. As we practice tending the sparks of love and compassion, may we be the people of the engaged and singing stream. May we have the courage to tend the sparks well, and may we be the carriers of what comes next. May it be so, and amen.
Do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. Do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. Do justly now, love mercy now, go humbly now.
You need not complete the work, but you cannot abandon it. You need not complete the work, but you cannot abandon it.
Do justly now, love mercy now, go humbly now. Do not be daunted by the enormity of
Do not be daunted.
Do not be daunted by the enormity of
Do not be daunted.
Do justly now, love mercy now, go humbly now. Do justly now, love mercy now, go humbly now. Through the Split the Plate, we extend our impact beyond our walls, supporting organizations that create lasting change. This May, we are honored to partner with Milwaukee Rescue Mission. This mission was suggested by member Mark Steinberg. While emergency shelter and meals are essential, Milwaukee Rescue Mission's work goes much deeper. They are committed to helping individuals move beyond crisis
and towards independence, excuse me. There's always that interdependence though, right? Through programs focused on job readiness, education, and recovery, they address the underlying causes of homelessness. Participants are supported as they build practical skills, like preparing for employment, managing finances, and continuing their education. At the same time, they receive encouragement and guidance to rebuild confidence and goals for the future. This long-term approach recognizes that lasting stability takes time, support, and opportunity. By investing in people, not just providing services, Milwaukee Rescue Mission helps create real and sustainable change. Oh, I'm supposed to click it for it to change, but I guess I need to click it to come on. Okay, we're having issues here. Oh, there we go, okay. So, you can support the work of the Milwaukee Rescue Mission by dropping something in the offering basket as it comes around, or you can go to UUCW website's donate tab and select split the plate, as it says up here. So we thank you most sincerely for your support.
Thank you for your generosity. I invite us all now to rise in body and or spirit, and we'll sing together hymn number 1020, Wo Ya Ya.
Heaven knows how we will get there, but
Dear ones, may we remember what we love and what loves us. May we have clarity about which are the glowing sparks worth tending. May we create and sustain islands of sanity here and beyond our walls. And may we ever look to love as our guide. May it be so, and amen.